Down. Good girl. So, it's been a couple of sessions since the last time that I taped Roxy, and we've made a few changes. We've added some hens to the mix because the drakes were just getting too lazy and too predictable, and hens will spice things up a bit, make things go a little faster. The drakes will follow the hens, and the hens often don't always stay together. The other thing I did was I had to change where the little arena was for filming's sake because the light was more consistent down at this end of the arena. And I've made the area wider and longer. It's more square now rather than rectangular, which I like for getting the dog wider and especially to get the ducks off the fence. Down. Good girl. Down. Down. Good girl. So how she enters is very important. Okay, that'll do. Down. Good girl, good down. So we're going to start with a little gym class. So I'm going to put this on her flat collar. And then we'll go to our ABCs afterwards, just to kind of get a little kickstart here. Please notice how I start to work on my square flanking. I will, when she starts, put the rake by her face so that she turns her face off, so at least her thoughts are not straight at the ducks. And we'll work on her width eventually as she gets a little older and the stock requires it. Call ducks, these call ducks are fairly heavy, so the dogs can be fairly close. Even my expert dogs work these call ducks fairly close. They need to be worked closely because they don't really go anywhere without being pushed, which is great for puppies because the puppies can push a little bit and it's not like you're getting after them every 10 seconds for over pushing. So that's why I kind of like a nice slow moving stock that the puppy can be close to and not make too much of a mess. The lighter the stock, the more you'd have to ask the dog to pace itself, and at 8 months or whatever she is right now, maybe coming close to 9 months, I'm not sure. We don't want to be pushing these puppies off too much too quickly. So we're going to get started here with a little bit of gym class and a little bit of fetching. Get around. I don't want her pulling on me. I want her getting wide, not pulling forward. Get around. It's about position, not speed. There's my hole. Good girl, get around. See if she can beat them to the fence, and she does. Good. Good, get around. So I'm going to start to demand a little more space from her on these hens. Good girl. I want to make sure she's getting to the last duck. Good girl. Good, she's trying to figure out how to keep them together. That's great. Good girl. And I'm going to step through and make sure she gives space to me, gives me width as I step through. I don't just walk, away, not even roundly. Good, nicely done. So I use a little there because she slows down a little bit, which I really like. Good, I'm going to step through, and she has to start respecting my rake and my position. When she sees me step through, I want her giving space to me. And if I don't see her giving enough space, good girl, I will give her a little slap. I'm going to step through, block her. She didn't take my block, so I had to give her a little slap. And I couldn't get back there fast enough, so we'll try it again. Good girl. You can see she doesn't worry too much about the little slap. Maybe not enough. Good girl. Let her get to the front duck. Good. We'll just circle there. Good. To keep them off the fences. Good. It's good when she's not perfect because that's reality. No puppy is perfect, including mine. Good girl. Get around. Good. That's nice. She gave me some space there. Good. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for her to start to understand that when okay, it's over. I couldn't block her fast enough. She got wider, and so I had a hard time blocking her. I guess I should have been a little bit more nimble on my feet to get there. I'm going to step through. She gave me space. I let her go. Good. Good girl. And then I'll let her fetch him a little bit. Good. And now I'm going to step through, block, step. She gave me space, so her reward when she gives me space is she gets to go to ducks. Cause and effect. If you don't give me space, I block you, maybe give you a tap. If you give me space, you get ducks. Good girl. That's it, girl. We'll let her fetch him to the corner. Good. Excellent. And down. Oh, better get around first. If she crowds them, she's going to get a little slap. Good. I'd like to see her settle. Good. Down. Good. So once the ducks settle and I gave the down command, she was able to do it because they weren't on the move. Good girl. They were in balance. She's happy. She's in control of them. So therefore, she was willing to give me the down. Okay, we'll take them off. Lie down. Good girl. Lie down. So I pick up my line again. Good girl. Get around. Get around. I'm not going to let her go at them as they come out of the corner. That's what she wants to do. When they move out of the corner, she wants to go straight at them and follow their movement. And I'm going to step. She gave me space. That was great. So now, I hope you can all see that on the video. She comes in a little hard. She split them. I'm going to block her, ask for space, and then let her finish. Good girl. Get around. Get your ducks back together. This is what I like about the hens. They're more honest than just a group of drakes, but the group of drakes was great for starting her. But now we're asking a little more challenging, and they're a little more honest about her position and her pressure. Good. And you'll notice my curved backward steps. Sometimes forward, sometimes backward. Good. We're going to find a place to settle them again. Good. I'm going to let her cover them, but not come forward. There, she's covering them again. Good. Because if she keeps coming forward, she'll just push them out the other side. She's a little tight, so I gave her a little slap. Down. Good girl. Good job. Good job. Good girl. Good. Good. Get around. Make sure. Good. Send her back the other way. Good girl. And that's something I want to show you today, is a nice way to teach a young dog to cover a draw fence, because ducks often ducks are probably the hardest stock to get off a fence compared to sheep and cattle. Cattle, you just have to have some patience to take them off, and so do ducks. Ducks and cattle are actually a lot more alike than sheep and ducks, or sheep and cattle. They're very honest, and they don't take well to being overpressured. Cattle don't take well to being overpressured, and either do ducks. They respond differently. Good girl. You're fine. We're going to let them settle again, and I'm going to show you that move again. Down. Excellent. Good. So there's a difference between her tucking them in behind me and coming too high or too far and making them come out of the corner. And that's what you have to kind of decide. Is she coming high to tuck them in, or is she coming high, she's already tucked them in and now she's following them or going into their pressure and she's going to scoot them out the other side. And that's just a decision you have to make, okay? So I'm going to show you a piece of handling here, which is very, very good for teaching young dogs or even old dogs that have problems getting ducks off of fences. I'm going to show you a little bit of a method. So let me talk first, which is, because it'll happen very quickly. I'm going to send her on the go-by side to get these ducks off. When we get them off so far, if she over-rotates on the go-by side, they'll simply roll around us and head back to the fence. So what I have to do is, when I take them off so far, I must block her, send her back the other way, back to the heads of the ducks so that they don't beat her to the fence. If I send her on a circle, they actually might beat her back to the fence. So we're going to show you that. Lie down, Roxy, down. I'm going to show you that little handling skill right now. Good girl. Let's do a little out first. Out. Good. There. Down. Okay, so I'm going to start on the go-by side. Get around. Going kind of fast. Go. Get around. They came off. Hold on. Oh, they're not cooperating. Okay, so they came off, and now I'm going to block her, pull, and send her back the other way. And we're going to try it again. Hopefully it'll happen a little closer to the camera. Sometimes getting things to work is a little difficult. Down. Roxy, down. Good girl. Good job. Good job. So we're going to try that again. We're going to start on the go-by side. Go, get around. Good. And now they've started to come back, so I block and pull, and then I let go. Good girl. Good. I was telling a student not too long ago, she was having trouble deciding which way to send her dog, if she rocked her dog back or if she let the dog continue on the circle that it was headed. And all I can say is some of it's a little bit of feel, which takes a lot of time. But in reality, what I'm doing is I send the dog the quickest way to the heads, because we steer stock on the heads, not on the tails. We push tails, we steer heads. And so I'm always looking to send the dog the quickest way, and usually the dog knows the quickest way to the heads. Good girl. And we're going to try to show you that one more time. Down. Good girl. You'll notice her ambition has come up since the first time, and she's getting a little bit more cocky, having a little more fun and an opinion about stuff. And that's good. That's the way it should be. But when the dog makes that step towards wanting to control the stock more for themselves, you also have to take your step and assert yourself into the picture more. So a puppy may be very soft in the beginning and being very obedient and not wanting to overpressure you or pressure the stock too much. But as their confidence comes up, they start overpressuring and taking over a little bit. You have to change your game. So we're going to try to show you that stock work one more time. She's in a rush, and I'm not going to let her be in a rush. Good. They're already off the fence. And now they're curved back to the draw, so I block her and pull. Get around. Good, so that they don't go back to that draw fence, the corner they came from. That was a good one. That was a good example there. She's trying to get wider to get away from my block, and so I had to move a little bit more. She's trying to avoid my rake rather than pay attention to my rake sometimes, and she's avoiding by getting wider. Get around it. No. She's going to bring the many to the few. That's fine too. Good. And so I'm going to step forward, and I'm going to block her, and I'm going to ask her to get wider before I let her return to the ducks. Good. And I do that simply by just keep walking and claiming space on the ground. So block, step at her shoulder. Good girl. There you go. Get around. And now I'm going to turn and let her fetch. You're not fetching if your feet are forward. You're only fetching if your feet are backwards. But sometimes we have to have our feet forward to pressure the dog. Good. Feet are forward. I'm pressuring her, asking her to get wider. And now I'm going to back up and let her fetch. Gentle. Down. Nope, down. Good. So they were getting back to the fence really quickly. Down. We're going to take a break here. And I thought the hole was going to evaporate, so I asked her to lie down. Luckily, she did. If she hadn't, my rake was right there, down. And so now we're going to do some little outruns. Here. So the only really important thing to start outruns with a little young dog is, excuse my coughing, lie down, is that the dog stay while you're getting in position. It's winter here in my room. Good girl. Lie down. So she has to stay. Lie down. Good girl, lie down. Lie down. So I'm going to back away. No. Nice and wide, but I didn't ask for it. Roxy. Down. Good. So she has to wait. And usually, actually, she has a lot of patience off of stock and a really good down off of stock. Here, but not on stock. So that's what we have to go over. Lie down. They've changed positions a little bit, and that's fine. No. Well, we're going to put her somewhere else. Good girl. Here. Patience, a lot of patience. Down. Good girl. That's a good girl. Lie down. She's in a rush, but we aren't. Good girl. Lie down. No. Down. Good. Good down. Down. Good girl. I think my good was a little too zealous. Good down. Excellent. Now we can ask for our little outrun. And I want to be closer to the ducks than closer to her because that's where the trouble's going to be if there's any, not how it starts. So I want to make sure she goes in nicely and takes all the ducks off the fence. Get around. Excellent. And there, my little rake was there to make sure she peeled them off the fence nicely. So that was a really good example of a puppy outrun. Good. And we're going to let them tuck in. Good. Tucked in. She doesn't need to go any further. Once they're tucked, they're going out the other way. So she tucks them. Good. That's what I want to see. I want to see her laterally go out and fix it, not forward. Now, if the ducks keep moving, it tells you that the dog is too tight. Down. Good. And so I asked for a little more space, and then, because if they keep going back and forth behind you, the dog is causing that with her pressure. Good girl. So let's try another little baby outrun. Little puppy outrun. Good. So you notice my position close to the ducks was very good to make sure she peeled them all off the fence. Good girl. Good down. Good girl. Down. Down. You can keep talking. No. Down. She's got to know when she's wrong. I want to be straight between her and the ducks. And they're moving again. Nope. Nope. I didn't ask you to go. No. Good girl. Good job. So the important thing is, you expect the puppy to break. The important thing is that she doesn't succeed. She doesn't that she doesn't get her way. That's the important thing. She has to understand that when I release her, she gets to work the ducks, not when she chooses to release herself. The ducks were moving though, so they're a little more settled now, so hopefully this is good. Get around. Excellent. She got around all of them. Good. And we kind of missed going back, so we'll just do that circle. Good. 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 We'll try one up here. Good. Down. Oh, much better. Good girl. And you'll notice I really watch the ducks and I make sure that my rake is opposite the beaks, okay, away from the beaks. That way I'm keeping her wearing to a minimum so that she starts to learn pace. Because if a dog is constantly wearing back and forth, over-wearing, ducks are moving, we're just going to get out of their way, they're not learning pace. So, come here, Rox. We'll do one more little outrun. Good. Down. Are they gonna settle in that corner again? Right there, that's good. Okay, down. So I want to start to have her work on her pace and not over-wearing. So instead of going 180 degrees from side to side of the ducks, I'm looking for something like maybe 90 degrees behind the ducks. But of course, when she's only 90 degrees behind the ducks and she's not 180, she's pushing more on them. So there's good and bad to cutting down that wearing. Good girl. No. Down. Down. She saw me move and she thought she was allowed to. Down.